It was a magical time in an instant. The Andromeda cloud turned into the Andromeda galaxy. For many years, observations made from Earth were the only way we knew how the Andromeda galaxy worked. With the help of better technology and the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, however, our knowledge has grown beyond all measure. Now things are about to change because the James Webb Space Telescope has found signs from the Andromeda galaxy that our very scary scientists are still trying to figure out what these signs mean. Astronomers are both inspired and curious about them. But what do these signs really mean? The most important question is why they are making scientists so upset. Just 2 minutes ago, the James Webb Telescope turned off because it got alarm signs from the Andromeda galaxy. Astronomers thought the Milky Way was the whole universe before we could see very far into the universe. This lack of understanding was mostly caused by the fact that they didn't have the right tools to see different galaxies and individual stars. But when we found the Andromeda galaxy, everything changed. It was the first sign that the universe is much bigger than the Milky Way in our minds. In the 1600s, Galileo Galilei's groundbreaking work with binoculars showed what the Milky Way really looked like. He saw that the Milky Way had many stars, which went against the idea that it was the most important thing in the universe. In the 1920s, Edwin Hubble used the Hooker telescope to find faraway things beyond the Milky Way. This changed everything. It was Edwin who noticed that these moving objects in space were galaxies other than the Milky Way. The Andromeda galaxy, or Mi-31, was one of them. Abd al-Rahman al-Sufi, a Persian scientist, first wrote about the Andromeda galaxy around the year 1050. But this way, hence the first time we saw it. Through a telescope, astronomers were able to see and understand what Andromeda was really like. Because of progress in technology in the 20th century, Andromeda is a cloud of gas and dust made up of a very large galaxy of stars. Like our own Milky Way, our friend in space is about 2.5 million light years from the Milky Way. The way we study Andromeda has changed a lot since it was first found, from using telescopes on the ground to using space telescopes like the Hubble and the James Webb Space Telescope. We have come a long way. With each new piece of technology, we've reached new heights and learned more about the Andromeda galaxy. Given that we now know more about its makeup and structure, Andromeda has become a standard for studying how galaxies form and grow. This has given us more information about how the universe works. In a bigger sense, scientists think that we need to study the link between Andromeda and the Milky Way to learn more about the universe. This is especially important since the two galaxies will eventually crash into each other in about 4 billion years. Even though research and studies have moved forward, the James Webb Telescope recently got a signal from Andromeda that made them worried. Scientists all over the world are confused by this worrisome signal, which has led to questions about where it came from and what it might mean. The advanced sensors on the James Webb Telescope have found strange behavior right in the center of Andromeda. The signal sent back to scientists shows results that are very different from what has been seen before, which interests scientists all over the world. The signal shows that there are big things happening inside the galaxy which might have something to do with its giant black hole or with things that haven't been seen before. One of the most recent discoveries is that Andromeda's mass might be much larger than the Milky Way's. This changes how we think about the sizes of both galaxies. The James Webb Telescope has also taken very clear pictures and spectra of Andromeda, which have shown how new stars are made and what chemicals they are made. And what chemicals they are made of. This new information is important for knowing how galaxies have changed over time and what conditions might be right for life. The telescope data also shows that Andromeda's active galactic center is becoming more active, which will have an effect on its surroundings and determine how it will be structured in the future. Researchers are also learning more about how mysterious dark matter is spread out in the galaxy by studying the effects of gravity on stars in Andromeda. This should help us better understand how dark matter affects the physics of the universe, as it stands one of the biggest mysteries in astronomy is dark matter and how it affects the world. Recent discoveries made by the James Webb Telescope have sparked many studies around the world as astronomers try to figure out what Andromeda is all about. We now know more about the past and future of the galaxy because new knowledge has come to light. So what do different studies tell us about the Andromeda galaxy? There are some amazing things about Andromeda that set it apart from other galaxies in the world. People are amazed by how big it is. New estimates put its width at about 220,000 light-year, which makes it one of the biggest galaxies in our group, and even bigger than the Milky Way. Its mass comes from its huge size. It is made up of about 1 trillion stars, which is more than our galaxy. Scientists are also interested in how the galaxy is put together. Andromeda is not like most spiral galaxies because its center bulges and its dense core is surrounded by rings of dust and gas. This makes it a great place for stars to keep forming. One of the most interesting things about it is its center, which has a double peak emission that suggests it has a supermassive black hole similar to but not the same as the Milky Ways. This gives us important information about these huge holes that eat matter and what they do. Andromeda is also surrounded by a sphere of stellar junk that is hundreds of thousands of light years across and made up of stars, planets, and globular clusters. This space cover tells an interesting and thorough story about how the galaxy came to be, and its past. The 460 globular clusters found in Andromeda also give us information about how stars form in their very early stages. This makes it easy to understand how star clusters form and how the galaxy first formed. Astronomers are getting closer to knowing what dark matter means in the big picture by putting together the puzzles of Andromeda. But there is still one question. How do they explain how mysterious it is and what part it plays and how galaxies move? Andromeda also has something else that makes it stand out: galaxies that orbit around it. It has more than 20 smaller galaxies making up its halo structure. Some of these galaxies are losing their stars and gas to the tide. Small galaxies that are nearby are pulled in and destroyed by a bigger galaxy. This shows that cosmic evolution is active and shows how galaxies grow and interact with each other over time. How will things go from here for the Andromeda galaxy? Astronomers and people who want to learn more about the universe are both interested in its shape and the way it moves. Andromeda's growth is based on the idea that it could change from a spiral galaxy to a ring galaxy. There is evidence of a process that could lead to other rare pairings. This process could be caused by galaxies colliding or interacting closely with each other. If Andro is really moving in this way, it means that since it was born, it has had a lot of deals with other galaxies. In the end, Andromeda's future rests on its impending collision with the Milky Way. Based on these models, the impact is thought to happen in about 4 billion years. After such an impact, these two very large celestial bodies give birth to a new galaxy. Even though it's bad, the impact is a normal part of how galaxies grow and change. Galaxy collisions don't have direct impacts, though, because the galaxies are so far apart. When the two galaxies collide, they will have completely changed forms and compositions as their gases and dust combine. New stars will be born. This will make for a spectacular show in the sky as the objects merge and shine brightly. Finally, this kind of cosmic event will cause a single irregular galaxy to form. The universe has a long history of collisions like this one, but the fact that we can directly take part is what makes it interesting to us. The expected collision of the supermassive black holes at the centers of the two galaxies adds even more mystery to the how in the sky. In conclusion, the Andromeda galaxy has come a long way from being a cloud of gas and dust to a galaxy of stars like our own Milky Way. Its study has changed the way we understand the universe, and its future collision with the Milky Way will shape the universe's future. The James Webb Space Telescope's observations of Andromeda will continue to provide valuable insights into the universe's past, present, and future.